What's up guys? In this video we're going to rebuild a Johnson or Evinrude 25 horsepower carburetor. Here's the rebuild kit, and this rebuild kit applies to 25 horsepower carburetors from 1969 to 1995. As always, if you find this video helpful, please make sure you click the subscribe button and the thumbs up button for me. Make sure you check the video description for a link to this carburetor kit on Amazon, as well as other useful links and information for this video. First step in disassembling the carburetor is to remove the low speed needle valve. You can inspect the needle valve to see if it's still in good condition by making sure that the point is perfectly conical and doesn't have a groove near the point where someone has kind of over torqued down the needle when inserting it and seated it a little too hard and created a groove. If you do see a small groove, you can take some emery cloth and kind of sand it down to repair the needle. If the groove is too large, you'll need to preferably buy another low speed needle. I'll leave the part number in the description below, and you can look it up on eBay or just a Google search. After you've removed the needle valve, you're going to want to remove the bottom bowl. It has 4 screws holding the bowl on. Once you have the screws off, you can just simply lift the bowl up, and you can remove the last screw on the front. Make sure the rubber gasket comes with it. The bottom bowl is completely disassembled now. You can set it over to the side. Next, what we're going to do is remove the gasket. And now we're going to remove the float. You can remove the float using a pick and pressing in this pivot shaft here, sliding it out. Remove the float, and inside here is a little needle. Make sure to remove that. Take a flathead screwdriver. Then you can remove this brass fitting, the screwdriver. So don't take this out. I did, and I regretted it. It doesn't need to be taken out to be cleaned on this model. You can see, hopefully, down in there. Lighting's bad. Maybe if it was like that, I don't know if you can see, but you can see there's basically it's a nozzle, and it's just easy to clean. You don't have to remove it to clean that at all. Now that you got the bottom area all removed, the last step on the top half of the carburetor body is to remove these metallic plugs. There's 3 metallic plugs, one here, and another one here. What I've found to work best is to gently take a drill with a small metallic bit and start a hole in each one, and then once you get a hole started, you can take a pick, and I'll leave, like I said before, I'll leave the link to this pick set in the description. They're very cheap, less than I think $8 for the whole set, and you can take this pick, and with the started hole you can take a hammer and slightly tap it in there and then pry the cap off. Once you have the bottom half and the top half completely disassembled, it's good to soak these 2 halves in acetone In order to do that, you can use an empty coffee can and place the parts in it and fill it up with acetone and let it soak overnight or for several hours. And acetone is a great cleaning agent, and it removes all of the gas, residue, and tarnish off of the carburetor bodies. So I've let the carburetor bodies soak in acetone, and should dry pretty quickly. The acetone that I use is you can get it at Walmart. I think this small can was less than $5. I'll put a link to it in the description. Once we have our carburetor bodies clean, we can go ahead and open the rebuild kit. This rebuild kit covers 1969 to 1995 Johnson or Evinrude 25 horsepower carburetors. So there's going to be some parts in here that are not applicable maybe to your carburetor. So just keep that in mind if you have leftover parts. So I have all the parts here laid out. I have the new brass bushing, needle, gasket, float clip for the needle right there. This is the gasket that goes on that brass fitting. Let's see. This is the new washer for this, for the bottom bowl. 3 new caps, one's already in there. This one goes on the bottom, right there. And this one goes on the top. I have this, which is the replacement to this piece. I like this piece a lot better. It slides in there a lot easier and it's not damaged, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep this from the original. What I like to do to start the reassembly process is go ahead and put in all your metallic caps here, here, and here. To do this, you need a kind of a soft surface like this wood area, because you're gonna have to slide this in there and then have a blunt object and a hammer and hit the top of it to kind of make an indentation, expand the edges, and it kind of creates a seal. Next, you want to reinstall your brass fitting. Next, you want to install the needle. And to do that, you need to use the needle clip provided. Slide the clip onto the needle, and then you want the groove side to be facing up in this position or down whenever the carburetor is upright. So slide that on there. And then slide your pin back. To initially set the float, you want the top of the float to be parallel with the surface of the carburetor here. As you can see now, it's kind of not level at all. It's sloping down, or it's low on this end. So what you can do is bend this metal tab until the float top is level with this surface. So there, looks pretty good there. Next, you can put your gasket back on. Not in the kit, but what was original to this carburetor whenever I took it apart was an O-ring that slid down over this nozzle and kind of sealed the top and bottom half of the carburetor. On several other rebuilds that I've done, this piece isn't always there, so I don't know if it's absolutely necessary or not, but just for completeness I'm gonna put it back the way it was. So once I have that centered, you can go ahead, put the bottom. Got the top and bottom good and tight. We can go ahead and put the new washer on this bolt and tighten it back down. Like I said before, I'm going to reuse this fitting here. Take the low speed needle valve and there you have it, a rebuilt 25 horsepower Johnson or Evinrude carburetor. Make sure to click the thumbs up and subscribe to me if this video helped you out, and make sure to check the channel or the video description for the links to the rebuild kit and a lot of other useful information.